Very good evening to you. I hope you are having a fantastic day. I'm just going to make sure that we are live on YouTube and then we are live in the right place. I hope everybody had a fantastic week. We had a fantastic day today. It started off like overcast and it was a bit like, oh, I'm not sure about today. What shall I put on? Should I put on something warmer or should I put on something more summery? And I was like, I'm just going to layer it up. So I put like 3 layers on, and as the day gone on, like you sort of start to peel off the layers and off and off and off. So tonight we're gonna have so much fun. I've just been sitting here for the last 10 minutes and I like put both of the packs out, and they are really great. Like, I already got quite a few ideas what I want to do with it, but first of all, let's get together and let me know in the comments, like, what would you want to do with these beads? What would you want to design with it? What are your ideas? Because the whole idea of Creation Station is we're designing together and we're doing everything together. And we can try different things. Like, you know, I got another kit here as well. We can try, and I got more of the donuts. We can try different things and see what works the best. What I have envisioned and what I would like to do is to do a little bit of netting over my like putting the crystals and the seed beads, just a little bit of netting over this beautiful donut. Hold on, let me move myself into position. Actually, let's move myself to the corner. You don't want to see me, you want to see the beads, don't you? Like, I'm just going to the corner here. There we go. So I want to do a netting around this. So we want to use like larger beads on the outer, and as we going, I think I'm using the crystals, like gradually making them smaller and smaller as we're going down. That's my idea, but do let me know in the comments that what would you like to do, or what is your idea, what we can do with these beautiful beads. Good evening, Caroline. Good evening, Ruby Max. Is that Maxine? Good evening, Elizabeth. That's Liza, I think. Mina is here. Good evening, Mina, Gwen, Judith, Brenda, Lucy, Angela. Oh, Angela saying, hello, watching with no sound as I have a friend around. Ooh, secret watching, eh? You can put the subtitles on, so you should be able to put the subtitles on so you can read. I think when you look at it on YouTube, it's, hold on, I'm in the wrong thing. Let me just click on it. It's there's a gear settings at the bottom, and then you can click on subtitles and it's gonna, you can put it on. Let me know if that's comes on, so you can watch it that way as well. I'll do a triangle seed bead bell to hold the donut. So we have done those ones in the past, and I should have I got any here, or is it at the warehouse? I can look in a cupboard and I'll show you. I have done those before. So while you are telling me what would you like to do, I'm gonna see in my sample cupboard if I got any of those here, because they look really good as well, but I want to do something completely different. Oh yes, I have. Of course, it's on the bottom tray, but I'll get to it very quickly. Right, so here we go. You know, I can just, this is the great thing about having a craft room. I can just go and grab things. So what Lauren was saying, to do a bell on the top, just with some seed beads, like a little triangle bell. And we have done this, I have done this live. We can do sort of different patterns on there, all sorts of different things you can do. I done one with crystal, but I can't seem to lay my hand on it just now. That there is a blue one as well. So we done this one in the past, absolutely loved it. Very, very easy pattern to do. I love this colorway. Look, this one looks gorgeous, really, really gorgeous. And we had kits on this on the website as well, so we paired up 2 colors together, and they looked fantastic. So I love when, like, even like when I'm getting kits, when you make 2, because you make one for yourself and you can make one for a friend. So what I want to do, I want to sort of cover it with seed beads and crystals. So I reckon we're going to have to do some sort of netting, but let's get started and let's tuck in and we see where we end up. Good evening, Diana, Isla, Edward, Karen, good evening. Mina is saying I ordered the sky bundle and the earth looks great too. They both, like the earth, when I first put it together, I put a bit more like a tealy colors with it, and then when I looked at it again, I was like, actually I want to change it a little bit. Then went more towards sort of a dark turquoise, like a peacocky color, rather than like a great teal. So Diane is here. Good evening, everyone. Eating my tea will be then we'll bead. Wish I got the autumn. So there is no autumn. So we got sky and we got earth here. And Pauline, good evening. Can we make an asymmetrical necklace with a donut fastener at the side? That would look really good as well. But like if we did that, because the donuts, they have got some white to them, we need to make sure that the necklace is going to be like, we're going to have some white at the bottom, because that way, if you haven't got the white on the bottom, the white of the donut is going to pull your necklace and it's going to turn around and it's going to end up at the bottom, and you forever are going to be pulling it up. So you're going to have to make sure, like perhaps put the 8 mils at the bottom to weigh the necklace down. Hilary is saying liking the colors. Fastener on the other side. Yep, could do that as well. I think we will play with a couple of things as we go along. Oh, Lauren is saying I didn't realize you've done it already. That's probably where I've seen the idea. Bless you. I think we've done it a couple of times. Sarah's done it. I done it. I love it. I really do love it. And that one, I'm just going to bring it back one more time. This one is really good because you make it separately, and then when you add it onto your donut, you can use this for crystal pendants as well. I haven't got any here, but they actually look really good with crystal pendants. They don't just have to be donuts to adding them. And they sit really nicely because they give you that curve, that V shape at the bottom for your necklace to sit inside. Oh yeah, dancing meant earth. I know what you meant, lovely. Hi Amelia. Nothing stands great. Yes, aka Maxine. Yeah, this is the thing on YouTube. You got all sorts of different names, and sometimes it's just like I don't know who is who. I am so bad at remembering names that I had a friend, let's call him Steve, and I kept calling him Chris for like 6 months. And after that, he said to him, like, you do know my name is not Chris, my name is Steve. And I was like, oh no, but I'm really, really bad. They are hematite donuts. Yeah. Yes, they are available separately on the website as well, outside of the kit as well. You don't have to buy the kit. You can just buy, like, we all have so much materials at home, so you can just buy the bits what you like. Sada saying if everybody click the like button, we can see the viewership. I think you can see it anyway because it displays it, but if you do click the like button, I will thank you very much, because I think, like with all my videos, I always said that's how I measure that how good is the project or what good we are doing. If people are liking it, then we can make sure we do more of that style and those videos and those techniques or colors or instructions, or just sort of try out with the different beads. Right, okay, let's get started, because I really want to We want to sort of play with two or different things. Sky or earth? What shall we play with first? Sky or earth? Do let me know in the comments. Which one do you like the look of it most? Of course, I'm going to say sky because I love the sky. But you let me know which one you want me to play with it first. And while I'm rearranging, I'm just moving everything out to the top so it's not in my way when we're going to be beading. We're going to have to do a race here. This is my YouTube ID. I'm Ezra. Oh, Ezra. Yeah, oh, hi, Ezra from Southend. So everybody give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying the video. So I'm just moving the beads to the side. Okay, so we've got 2 sky and 1 earth. So let's do a race. How are we going to race these off? So this is sky, that is earth. Just like very, very different. So we're going to do one swap over. So Pauline is saying sky, Ruth is saying earth, Diane is saying sky, Jackie is saying sky, Karen is saying sky. I think sky is gonna know. Caroline is saying earth, Joe is saying earth. Oh, earth is coming back. Oh, Lucy's saying sky, sky, but we can only count it from. There's one more. Oh, Amelia's saying sky and Lisa is saying sky. So sky won in this instance, I'm afraid. Well, I'm not afraid because I love sky as well. Margaret is saying sky. Leanne said earth. Actually coming pretty much part to part, but sky definitely won. I love this when we do these little races with our beads. Right, okay, so I'm gonna add these lightly, what shall we do, purpley colors or the bluey color seed beads? I want to let's try the lighter blue seed beads with the crystals. So I'm going to use just one size 11 seed beads for now, and I added 3 different sizes of the same color, which is this instant is this lovely tanzanite color. And the reason I did that, because when you look at your 8mm, 4mm and 3mm hematite, they have got a tight, slightly tanzanite color on the corners of those beads. So they're going to go perfectly with the tanzanite color. But let's start. We're going to use the blue color, and I'm going to use these beautiful, actually, let's larger, darker, lighter pendant this side in a minute, and use the crystals as well. So I'm going to start right on the outside. Or should we start? No, we're gonna try it with size 11 seed beads, and we're gonna see what we come up with. So I'm just gonna cut these strands, or usually I open up the end of the strand, so I can, if I'm just using a few pieces of beads, I can then put a knot at the end of the strand or loop it back again over the last bead. So therefore, they're still saying on the strand, it's just gonna be a little bit shorter. So I like to undo the strands rather than cut them, especially when I'm working with crystals, because they are a little bit more expensive. Well, we just undo the last loop, because it's just a loop on there, and then we can very easily take as many off as we need to. There we go, and just pull them out. Right, so we're going to have to start with the largest ones. And let me just, Simon bought me a Coke, and I said, oh, can I have a nice cold Coke and a glass? But he didn't put me in the glass. The waiter service. Bless him, at least he brought it in. Let me just take a sip of my Coke. My Pepsi Max. Right, so we're going to start with the very large ones, which are the 6mm crystals. Let's do it over the darker one, because they are lighter seed beads. Now I'm going to thread up my needle. Question, could you post the number of seed beads? Of course, like let's work out a pattern, and I'm going to zoom in as well a little bit more. Once we've worked out a pattern, I can pop a post in Facebook and let you know like how many seed beads we used, where we used it, so you can very easily identify it. Now I'm gonna get the box of needles, and I'm gonna look for a new needle, because every one of those needles in my stash there are bent, so I'm gonna get a new one out. I got this metal box. I don't even know where we picked it up, but I keep my straight needles in here. Well, mainly straight. There's a couple of bent ones, I guess. So I'm going to get a new needle out. There we go. There's a couple of them just in case if we need more than one. Right, gonna thread this up. Silver we need. Get them out today. Oh, Joe's saying, enjoy your Pepsi. I'm having a red wine. So I had this conversation about drinking and crafting. It doesn't mix for me. So I'm not really a big drinker. And you know me, I'm not a big drinker. But when like we would have somebody around, or like Sarah, they came down, we would like open a bottle of wine. And then one evening when I was actually doing crystal art last year, and one evening I had one glass of wine left over in this bottle, and I thought, and I was sitting at the veranda, you know what, I'm just going to have that glass of wine. So I had a glass of wine, and the way how I drink wine, so I got like this really large glass, and I put the wine in it, and then I put a whole can of 7-Up in it, because I really need to like water it down for myself. And so I drank it, and then I came in and I thought, like, you know what, I'm just going to go and do a bit of my crystal art picture. So it took me half an hour to put all of these crystals on, which was in the tray. Then it took me another 2 hours to take the crystals off because I put the wrong color on. So then I swore there is no drinking and crafting at the same time. Right, so I want these crystals to sit right on the outside of it. And I don't know if they're going to move to the top, but I'd rather if they sit right on the outside of it. So we want to have a couple of seed beads at least in between, or do we want them here and just, no, do we want the crystals on the outside? So I'm going to pick up a crystal and 2 seed beads all the way around, and we're going to make sure we have got the right amount. So I'm just going to keep taking it down, and I'm just going to try it around my donut. So I don't want it too big, but I don't want it too small as well, because then they're going to be pulled, then they're going to pull on the top. So you're just going to pick up just right, the Goldilocks way, you know, just right, not too big, not too small, just the right amount. Hi GT, GT's here as well. We are starting with size 11s. So we're going to use 3 different sizes of crystals, but we're just going to start with the size 11s, and then we can try all sorts of other bits of pieces as well. We got the whole evening to ourselves. I think Christopher was playing on the computer. Lucy's upstairs in her room. No, actually not. She went down to the beach with a friend, and I think they took the kayak down, like group of them, and I don't even know what Simon's doing tonight. So I'm just keep going around. And then the reason I could put more than 2 seed beads, but the reason I'm putting 2 seed beads on, because when we're going to start the next loop, we're going to start it in between the seed beads. The crystal is the largest one, is the 6mm one, but Toho size 11, lovely, not 11, not 15. The biggest crystal. So we will see how it works. So if this is the first time you came to the creation station, this is when we designed together. I haven't got, well, I have, because I've been beading for so many years, I kind of like got a general idea what I want to do and how it will look, or what sort of technique I have to use for it. But I am not 100% sure that this is going to work out, and that's why we're doing it together. And I love it. We made bracelets, we made pendants together, we made all sorts of different things. And it's sometimes like even I need somebody just come there and say, well, how about if you swap that bead with another bead, and then it's just all of a sudden it's just going to work. Right, is this the right amount, or do we need one more? And I just make sure. Pull that up. I think that will be the right amount. So I'm going to go through this crystal so I can pull it really tight from both sides, and then just drape it over it. I think that is about the right size. Just pull it tight. Yeah, I think that will be quite nice around it. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 crystals on. So 17 is not really a number what we can divide. So we couldn't do 2 loops. So because we're going to go down and we're going to do smaller loops just like that. So we're going to, the next row we're going to do, we're just going to add a seed bead loops on there. Then we're going to fill between the seed beads, we're going to fill it with a smaller crystal. Now, by the way, we're going to have to do that for both sides. And, but I kind of don't like to start, when I'm doing this, I don't like to start that with uneven numbers. I like to start that with even numbers, because if we have an even number, then we got we can like jump over one crystal if we need to. But never mind, let's try it with 17. It might just gonna work out. So I'm not gonna knot my tail end and my circle together. I am just gonna go around once and just go past my tail again. So I have a nice and a solider base. But if I knot it, and if that knot goes into that size 11 bead, there is no way we can get through with a needle, and we're going to have to get through a couple of times, because you're going to have to add our loops on one side, and then we're going to have to go around and add the loops on the other side as well, so that donut will be totally encased. We could have started with the smallest loop on the bottom either, and then work our way up to the largest one. But I kind of like to start at the largest side, because that's what you're going to see most. So if you have to cheat and put an extra bead in, or pull or like sort of skip one to make your tension tighter, I like to skip sort of the inner side rather than the outside, because then on the outside is more visible. I hope that makes sense. Don't we need something plain at the back? I'm going to make it both exactly the same, so you could have, it doesn't matter if you're front or back. We could do it plain. So for one side we could add the crystals, and on the other side we could just have it seed beads. So instead of like using the 4mm seed beads, we could add like the size 8 seed beads in there, or size, or a couple of size 11s. We could just use 11s on the back. Let's do one side with the crystals, and then we see how we get on. We do this side. But that's actually quite a good idea. So you're only going to be visible unless, depending on what we want to add it on, because if I want to add it on a like a longer necklace as a lariat, then if this is hanging this way, like coming from the top, hanging down, then this can spin around. And in that way, I do want to add the crystals on both sides, because you don't want it to spin around and then people seeing just the seed bead side. But if you're going to put it on a necklace where it's going to sit flat somewhere, then you can get away with just on one side as well. So there's pluses and minuses to everything. Right, I've gone past, and I'm just going to pop that on there. So I'm going to need to pick up enough seed beads, so I'm looping back. So I want somewhat a larger loop. I reckon about 9. So do you want uneven? Well, it doesn't really matter, because you can have 2 seed beads. You could have 8 or 9, 10 seed beads. Let's try with 9. Maybe 9 will be the magic number today. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm just going to take it down, and I'm going to see how is this going to look. Pull some through. How is this going to look? Because the loop I want to make is not long, has to go down, but it has to come back as well. I think it's going to be too small. Maybe we need, let's add one more bead. Let's try 10, and that will be. Joe's saying I have done 16 bicon and it's a good fit. I'm quite a tight beader, so I do need one extra, because I know that my one is not going to, and because we got left the tail there and I haven't knotted it, so if I need to, you can pull it a little bit and it will give a little bit. So we see. Right, 10 beads. Let's see what 10 beads look like. Might need to go to 12. Just pull that around. Yeah, I think it's still going to be a tiny bit. Is it small? Now maybe it's going to be all right. Let's go with 10. So I added 10 seed beads there. I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at as a seed bead, crystal, seed beads as a unit. So I'm going to go jump back on myself, go through the seed bead, crystal, seed bead, and then take my needle through. Let me just... the next seed bead, crystal, seed bead. So I will be in position to add a further bead and pull this up. And then my thread gets a bit naughty. There we go. Pull this knot up and then let's have a look. So don't forget, if it's not quite sitting right, once we're adding the next size crystals in between here, that's gonna pull it in. So now I am going to, is it 1 or 2 seed beads you want to go in? Maybe just 1. I'm going to pick up 9 seed beads this time, because the other thing what I'm going to do next, I'm going to borrow one of the seed beads from one of the loops before, because if you look at it here, and I'm going to bring this up, when you look at it here, it's quite busy already when that one seed bead connection is. So I'm going to pick up 9 and I'm going to borrow that one seed bead from the previous loop. Let me see if I can zoom in. I must be able to zoom. Oh, there we go. We can zoom in much more. So I'm going to pick up 9 seed beads this time. And because we're borrowing 1 from the previous loop, so I'm just going to go down towards the crystals on the very last seed bead, and then I'm going to turn towards my tail end. And let's just pull this up and then we will step up. Because we borrowed 1, can you see those 2 units are already starting to sit together nicely? Now I'm going to go along the next seed bead, crystal, seed bead. And I'm going to pick up my next 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I almost started singing there. You do not want to hear me singing. I've got a terrible voice. But you know the song I'm talking about. So I'm borrowing 1 from the previous loop again, going through the next seed bead, crystal, seed bead, and in the same way I'm going to go through the next seed bead, crystal, seed bead, so I'm in position to add the next lot of beads. Can you please move yourself to the other side of the screen so we can see adding beads in your hands, of course. Not a problem. I'm just going to jump over here, right in the corner here. And I'm going to repeat this over and over again. So I'm going to repeat this until I get all the way around. So any of you done, what was it called? Diane, probably you remember, you're really good at names. Maybe it was pearl, crystal and pearl pendant. We did, I can't even remember when, months ago. That was a very similar technique. We started it off, that you started off on the outside and then you work your way in towards the middle. Obviously we started with less pearls because we needed to do a much smaller. Oh, please don't knot up. No, let's just put it down. So anytime it looks like a thread wants to knot up just like that, you grab a second, don't just start to pull on it. Grab a second needle and pull it out, because it just makes life easier if you're using your needles like you would use like knitting needles, and just can pull the knot apart. And my thread is getting a little bit twisted. So when your thread gets a little bit twisted like that, what I like to do is either hold up my needle in front of me, and let me just come to the main camera for this for a sec. So hold up the needle just like that, and actually I like to hold my thread just underneath the needle. With my other hand, I'm going to hold this index finger in between my thumb and pull this all the way down. And when we come down there, can you see my beadwork is started to spin around because my thread was twisted. And if your thread is twisted, is more prone to get knots. So I always just do that a couple of times and just twist this right out. And then now when I put it down, I'm going to go back down on the bead mat. When I put it down, can you see I got a nice straight thread there? It does not want to curl up at all. Yes, it was crystal and pearl pendants you did last year, Mina is saying. So again, I'm going to pick up 9. Borrow 1 from the previous loop. I like these colors together. I like these seed beads. These are quite new seed beads for us. We haven't had these for that long, but they just got like a very light gray tint to them. They are a bit, let me just move this camera just like that way a tiny bit because my hand is keep moving off. But do let me know, just shout at me if I move my hand out of the shot. So the first round, we added 10 seed beads, and then from the second round, you're going to be adding 9 seed beads. 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we're going to borrow again the 1 seed beads from a previous, and then go all the, I think this is going to look great. I'm going to pull this. Don't know, somebody's beeping outside. I'm going to pull this in. Maybe we should have borrowed 2 seed beads instead of the 1, but I think they're going to sit side by side nicely. So we could have done 1 less. Never mind. We tried it on another one. I think they will still sit nicely. So we're going to have to do 2 seed beads and fill the gap. I'm just double checking, but also because this is sitting on the side, this one's have to sit someone a little bit dummy. We might have to go back and have to take these beads off if they don't look right. So I do warn you, this is the beauty. We're making up as we go along. So we might have to, can you see here where there is like the 2 seed beads sitting side by side? If I just had 1 more, like we would have borrowed 2 seed beads, not 1, perhaps it would have sit better, but then you would see a gap like just under the crystal. I don't really want to see gaps, so I quite like the 2 seed beads there. Have we done it? It's just I'm not sure about the gap we're gonna have, or what gap we're gonna have to fill when we come to these 2 seed beads, but we won't know that until we go all the way around. We might gonna have to skip the 4 mils and go straight down the 3 mil crystal, because it looks like that will be about the right size what we're going to put in there on the next row. But let's keep going around. I just like to stop time to time and just sort of double check and have a look just to make sure. So when I'm designing, I often just stop and pop everything down onto my mat and just have a quick visual look, assess it and assess it, adjust it, assess it, adjust it. And that's how designs are born, I think. Again, I'm borrowing one from the previous. How are we doing? Does anybody doing anything different? Do let me know, because I did say that if you message me in Messenger, if you message me a picture, then I can quite easily, what you're doing right now, I could quite easily bring it into the production and show it to everybody. So if you have got another idea, or if you're working with something different, then just send me a picture in Messenger and I will pull it right in and show it to everybody. I just have to remember how do I do that, but I'm pretty sure I think I know. It's technology, you know me and technology. I'm going to need a few more seed beads. Mina saying if you, Diane, if you check the invoice, tells you the bead details. So they, I think, I'm not sure, because if you, well, Simon didn't set it up right at the first place, so I'm not sure if the right numbers are on there. But if you message me, I'm always happy to just zap picture, message it to me, and I can tell you like which one they are, because I have changed them last minute, and he was a bit stroppy with me because they started to make up the bundles. I said no, because I in the earth colorway I had a gold crystal and two tealy color ones, and then the seed beads, and I thought no, actually I think it would look nicer if the crystals were all the same color, just different sizes. So you know me, I'm keep improving and changing and chopping until I get it perfect. There we go. We're almost all the way around. I got a few more crystals to run through. I have just started with my second bead loop, so we'll connect with 2 beads. So try that. If you try that, Mina, so instead of, if you're doing your second bead loop and you're going to connect with 2 beads, that will be great, because we will know that how does that going to look like. But in that case, don't pick up 9, you need to pick up 8 seed beads. So just going through these, borrowing one from the previous again, and getting all the way down. Where is my tail? There we go. Just pulled it out. There we go. Going through the next seed bead crystal as well, so I'm in a position to add furthermore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I'm just going to come borrow one again. And go through that. So let's just have a look. I'm just going to put it on the top and pull these loops around the right way, so they're all sitting. We're going to pull them together in a minute with the crystal, so they're all gonna pull together. I think they will be, yeah, we're definitely going to have to skip the 4 mils and go straight into the 3 mil crystals in the middle. Right, a few more loops, and then we can add. Then we will see if we failed or if it's gonna be right. 1, 2, 3. Mina saying yes, she's picking up 8. So we will see how's that gonna look like. Again, borrowing one from previous loop, going all the way around. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is actually quite like, you know, when I have to count the seed beads at the same time when I'm talking, and some days it's a bit easier to do it, and other days it's a little bit harder. So when I start counting, you know that like I have to like pay attention to it. I don't want to make a mistake, but sometimes I do. But what I usually do, I pick up 3 seed beads, and I know I picked up 3 seed beads, and I pull it down, and then I will pick up the next 3 seed beads, because even if I'm talking, I can see, like, just by looking at your needle, you can see up until 5 beads, I guess. You can see just by looking how many seed beads you have on there. So if I'm talking and talking and talking, I would just go and pick them up by a group of 3s. And once I picked up 3 in this instance, because I'm picking up 9, I know I got the right amount of number on there. Right, I'm coming to my last loop now. So I not long have to I'm only going to have to pick up 8 seed beads, but I need to go through that very first seed bead of the very first loop, then pick up only 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we're going to come down in that one and go along that seed bead, crystal seed bead one more time. And I'm going to come right in that very first loop. So because there is 10 seed beads on each loop, so I want to come out seed bead number 6. So by counting the one which is on both loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to go down to 3 mil and see what the 3 mil like. And there we go, just grabbing. Actually, I think I'm taking my bag. I put 16 crystals on and it fit perfectly, but now the seed bead loops have made it tighter. It needs 17. It might need 18 as well. I don't know. Let me just put these crystals in and we will see. Right, Mina sent me a photo. I'm just gonna get it up just 1 sec on here, and then I can show it to you. Hold on, this one need. It's like, there we go, and going into the messenger there. Right, 1 sec. Right, so Mina is, I'm just going to pull this right in. So can you see she's doing 2 seed beads at the bottom. So I'm just joined with 1 seed beads on mine, but she's joined with 2 seed beads. So keep on going around, Mina, and then we will see how is it going to look. Maybe we all have to do that. Right, okay, so I'm coming out of the 6th one. I'm going to pick up a 3mm crystal, and then I'm going to go through, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, go through 5 and 6, and pull that crystal tight in there. Then pick up another crystal. Again, I'm going to counting the one which is in the middle as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, going through 5 and 6. And as I'm pulling it tighter, it's pulling together. Again, pick up another crystal, 1, 2, 3, 4, going through 5 and 6. And pulling it, and it's pulling together quite nicely. So let me just pop this behind it. Oh, I think that's going to look rather nice. Maybe I'll go around once and we see, maybe this will pull it together too much and then I have to take it back and add the 4 mil. But at the first glance, I think it might just be like the 3 mil will be right there. And we could do like maybe 4 mil here. It doesn't have to be, or what we could do, instead of adding 10, we will add 11 in there. And then instead of joining 2 seed beads, we will join with 1 seed bead. I'll explain it a little bit better as well in a bit for you. So picking up another crystal. 1, 2, 3, 4, and going through 5 and 6. So I'm very quickly just going to whiz around with these 3 mil crystals. And we will see how much is it going to pull it in. I think it's going to be really pretty. I think you can do like peyote stitch over the donuts, like starting with the smaller seed beads, and as you like go outwards, you increase the sizes, or start outside and decrease the sizes as you're going in. I love netting, because with netting, like if we did it in peyote stitch and we would be covering the whole of the donut, then you would, in some cases, if the donut is not like, I can't say it's not pretty because all beads are pretty, but I don't really want to cover up all of the hematite donut because I want that lovely hematite to shine through. Shine through the gaps. Because otherwise we could just add a wooden donut. Let's get this tail out of the way. There we go. I think it's looking rather pretty. Let's just try it. Oh, I think that's going to look nice, really nice over it. I need to turn it a little bit so the light doesn't reflect in it, but it's gonna look beautiful once over. And if you wanted to, you could do like blend the colors in, so the colors you would be using would be similar to the hematite. And if you wanted to, you could use opposite colors. So like for the blue, you could use, I don't know, pink or gold, or the gold is really nice with the blue as well. That would look great. And if you have got the earth and the sky, which I do sometimes do this, you could use the colors from the crystals of the color on the sky, on the earth, and the crystals from the earth on the sky. So you can interchange the crystals in the two kits if you wanted to, depending on what you prefer. Right, how are we all doing? Let me know in the comments how you're doing, or if you're making along, or if you're making something different. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm almost around. I'm adding the last bead. There we go. And I'm going to go through the crystal and the next seed bead, and I'm going to pull this nice and tight. I think that fits just right. If I over pull the tension, then it's not going to fit. But I think without that just feels nice, and the nice amount, and it looks pleasing to the eye as well. If I wanted to use the 4 mil, then I would need to change the 4 mils first, and then we can go and use the 3 mils in here. We could do that as well, but in that case, and perhaps I'm all right. I don't have to go anywhere tonight, so we could do a different one as well if you like, and do it with the 4 mils just there. Question, did you go around the base row or crystal or Toho twice? Yes, so the base row picked up the crystals and the seed beads, gone around it again, and then we started to add the loops. Right, okay, so are we going to go down to, are we going to use the 3 mils again further in, or are we going to leave this like this? Because if we made the same loops on the other side, then that would, the whole casing would be covered, all of the sides of the like front and back of your donut, and then it would stay on there. So what shall we do? Shall we add another row and then perhaps add 14s down here? Well, not 14s, the 4 millimeter crystals down here, or shall we add another 3 mil? Maybe another 3 mil. I think it would look nicer than putting the 4 mil. Let me just put the 4 mil in there. That looks a bit, I think when we do another one, we need the 4 mils here and the 3 mils right down. But I think we're going to continue with the 3 mils for this one. And then we see. I think everybody must be busy beading because or have my messages stop coming through. Right, so I'm gonna, because we ended up with 2 seed beads between the crystals, that is my starting point for the next loop. So I'm coming out the seed beads between the seed beads between 2 crystals, and I'm gonna pick up another loop. I definitely gonna have to point this one because I don't need 2 right in the middle, I just need 1. So let me just actually, before I go any further, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 crystals. And I'm going to pull this in a loop Hold on, I'm just improvising here. I often do this. I'm gonna pull this in a loop. That's 17 crystals. So that's how small, if we just had the crystals on the end, it would go. Do we want to take it in that much? Or if we have a seed bead in between, then obviously the loop is going to be bigger. 17 seed beads is another about just over an inch. So then if I had a seed bead in between those crystals, then I reckon our loop would be about that big. I think it will look nice just having the crystals at the end. So I'm gonna this is what the 17 crystals looks like pulled. So we're gonna have to pick up a number of seed beads to get from this seed bead here down to the crystal, pick up the crystal, and then pick up the same number of seed beads to go back. And I reckon, just leaving that there for a sec, that's reckon is gonna be 5 seed beads. Just by eyeing it, might not be. That's 4, it's not enough. Yes, I think it's going to be 5 seed beads, then the crystal, and another 5 beads. So let's go with that. Right, so we need these 17 crystals. So I'm going to pick up 5 seed bead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to pick up the crystal, and I'm going to pick up another 5 seed bead. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm gonna do exactly the same thing as I did in the previous one. Treat it as one seed bead, crystal, seed bead as a unit. So I'm gonna go through the unit I am coming out of and the next one to be in position to add the next. Now we're gonna have to borrow quite a bit now, because otherwise the loops are definitely not gonna fit together. So I think we might even have to borrow every single one on one side. I'm pretty sure, because we're trying to get to the crystal. So I'm going to pick up 5 seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to pick up the crystal. And instead of picking up any more seed beads, I'm going to come right back all of these 5s, which I added on the previous loop, and pull this up. And I think that's just going to give us that nice point, what we need right there. And then we're going to go along to be in position to add further beads. Oh, Gwen is saying it's looking great already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the crystal. Coming back through these. I'm going to go through the seed beads at the same time. I think that's going to look nice there. When you like, when I turn it a little bit and when we're going around, that's when it pulls it together. When you went all the way around and added every single one of them in, it's always the final loop what pulls everything into the right shape. And a crystal coming back down this 5, up the seed bead. And I'm going to go along the next section. Oh, pretty. I love crystals. I love hematite, and I love seed beads. I love all sorts of beads. And it's quite memorizing that you can... Oh, Joy's saying she's beading along. Gigi's saying looks beautiful. We have all done quiet as we are feeding. Bless. I didn't have dinner actually yet. We went to Morrison's before, like I had to take Lucy for her. This was her dance rehearsal today, because like with the dance school, like you're not allowed to go and watch them, you're not allowed to go and film them, you're not allowed to, like, you don't see them. Like, we're paying all this money for this dance school, and you never really know like what they really learn. But the only time when you get to go and watch them is when they do a rehearsal class for the exam, and her ballet exam is just coming up. She's grade 6. So we got to go and watch her do the exam rehearsal, and she was really good. She's really good. She's got the right figure for it. She's not chunky like me. She's not nice and thin, and she's really good. So after that, I popped into work. I needed to pick up something, and then we popped to Morrison's, and they had this big box of strawberries, like a really big box. And I think it was like £3. It wasn't expensive either. So I got this big box of strawberries, and I came home, and I had some cream in the fridge as well, and I was like, I'm just gonna make some ice cream. So I went to the freezer. I got some ice out, and just made some ice cream, and me and Sam, we both had a big bowl. I mean, like, there is cream in there, but like mainly eating a handful of strawberries and ice, but it was really filling. And I said to Sam, like, I don't think I can eat dinner. He was like, neither can I. So probably will regret it by 10-11 p.m. because I will be go snacking, but at the moment I just still feel really full from the ice cream. I love homemade ice cream. I remember when I was little, my mum used to do it. She wasn't, bless her, a great cook, but she used to make ice cream at home. I mean, it's easy. You just chuck the ice, the strawberries, some sugar or sweetener in there, and blend it all up. I'm out of practice. I've run out of thread. Rookie error. Yeah, I always say start with as much thread as you can handle, because I hate when I have to, like, I've done it so many times when I'm doing a bracelet and I only got like an inch left, or I just have to attach the clasp, but my thread is not big enough to do that. So I always start with more thread than I think I'm gonna need, because like thread is so cheap. But you can, if you left the bobbin on, you can take more thread off the bobbin and just weave it in. Does anybody else make their own ice cream? Let me know if you do, and if you do, let me know what flavors do you do. I like raspberry ice cream as well. Lemon sorbet do sometimes, not so much, because like I'm the only one in the family who likes lemon sorbet. I haven't really tried like chocolatey ones. Probably the kids would like that. Well, I don't know. The problem is, like, if you do like chocolatey ones or anything like that, it never really tastes the same as you get from the supermarket. And then the kids go like, nah, it's not the real thing. Let me just try this over. I think it's looking great already. And then this is still a bit loose, but when we come in and we're going to pull those crystals together with our final round, that's when they all going to pull nicely in. Three, 4, 5 crystal. Down those 5. Then along, I'm almost all the way around now. I'm not sure if I would have preferred to leave maybe some as like more of a, but then we would have needed the seed bead in between. Maybe if we start on the other thing, what we can do is to start with less crystals. So instead of starting with 17, I could have started with 9 crystals, but with more seed beads in between. Or like any number of crystals. But instead of having 2 seed beads between, have 4 seed beads. And space them out a little bit. That's a possibility as well. And then you got less loops to worry about. Three, 4, 5. And is this the last crystal? No, I will need one more. And just coming through those as well. And then the next lot. We're going to need 2 more crystals. There's one there. I've got another rogue one, no. So this is the last 5 seed beads, and I'm going to pick up a crystal, and then we're going to need an extra crystal, but without the seed beads. And going down here, and then going to go along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm counting the beads I'm going through now, and up those first 5, and we just need to pick up a crystal, and down this second 5. Pick up a crystal, and down this second 5. Then I'm going to come around again and go back into the inner circle and pull the whole thing together by going through just those crystal beads. So I'm not going to put a seed bead in between. I'm just going to go through those crystal beads to tighten them up. And you will see it will pull the whole thing together. Hopefully. No, you will, just joking. I usually, when I'm tying or pulling things together like this, I would go together a couple of times. As Susan is saying, I make crunchy bar ice cream every Christmas. Mom always used to make it at Christmas in New Zealand, so it reminds me of her. So how do you make crunchy bar? Do you just like put the crunchies in ice cream, or like do you blend it in? Do you use ice? Do you use... There we go. I think that looks quite nice. We're going to have to do the other side as well. I'm not sure if I want to do the same or if I want to do differently. I think we could, in a way, like, can you see, like, a kind of like, it wants to spin. That middle bit just wants to spin down. Just like that. To sit. I quite like it. We could have even used the bugle bead or something on there. I like the seed beads better, but we could do all sorts of different things. What do we think? Do let me know. I kind of quite like it. I think want to repeat the same onto the other side. And then what we can do is to come from one side, go to the inner loop, and stitch the 2 sides together in a couple of places. So then it's definitely not gonna move on there. It's like completely stitched on there. Karen asking, are these bundles are still available, and will you be using them in a future creation station? So I always promise 1 creation station a month, but I usually do 2. So I most probably going to do another one in a couple of weeks, and we were going to keep playing with the beads because there is just so much to use in there. I mean, I'm still here and going to stay on for I draw a line at 10 p.m. my time, but I'm going to stay on, and we're just going to keep on trooping and keep on designing. And I'm hoping some of you will send the pictures through so we can see each other's creations as well. Right, I'm going to take my thread all the way. No, actually, I'm not going to take, because I'm only got about a feet left here. So I'm going to take my needle out of that one. And I'm going to take more thread off my wheel and add my reel and add my needle to that one. So I think it looks quite cool. And where did I put my scissors? They were just here. Everything is disappearing on my table again. I know there is one on that one. My little bare scissors. It's because I take out trays and I start working with the trays, and I put a little scissor on there, and then I put the tray to the side because I start another project, and then the scissor stays on the tray, and then I take it. I'll go back 4 or 5 pairs of scissors, but when you need this pair of scissors, you can never really find one. Right, so I'm back onto the outside, and I'm going to repeat the same pattern on the other side, and I think that's going to look really, really good. And as I said, we could change the colors of the seed beads, you could change the colors of the crystals to make it stand out or blend in even more, but I think what I really wanted is it looks quite nice that you can see through within where the lacy effect on your beadwork, you can see the donut through it. Right, so I'm going to take this off just for a sec. And as I'm coming out of just next to that crystal, I'm going to have to go through the next seed bead. And I'm going to start my loops again on this side. Oh, Paul is here. Hi, Paul. I forgot about this thing. How are you doing? I hope you are doing well on this. Well, it's Saturday afternoon for you, I guess, or lunchtime maybe. Paul is in America. Hi, Asher. I love you. You love your nails. Asher is saying, Asher, I went and got my nails done this week. I had the jab 3 weeks ago, and I was like just over 3 weeks ago. And I was like, last Saturday, I said to someone, I really want to go and have my nails done. And just like, I'm not sure, and I'm worried. And Simon said, you know what, just go and have it done. So I did. And I was really cheeky because I actually booked in a pedicure as well at the same time, because I thought if I'm going to do it, I might as well go out full blazing. What's that? Not really sure what's the expression, but I really, really enjoyed it. I had it done, like I have to do myself, but I had it done like this was the first time in, I don't know, 15 months, 16 months, and it just felt so good, really good. Right, so I added a 10 on my first loop. I'm going to do exactly the same on this side as well to put it. There we go. And I'm going to add 9 on my second loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then I'm going to borrow 1 from the previous loop and go through all of those beads again. I think we might run into a problem here, that my needle is a little bit too thick. I don't know what size needle is this, because it was in my box there. So I'm just going to quickly grab a thinner needle so I can pull them through. Might have been bigger than a 12 or 10 rather, because I just got a whole bunch of them in that box. And when I have a rogue needle, I just chuck it in there. Right, so thinner needle. How about putting bugle beads on the other side? Sheila is saying, I'll use the seed beads this time but we can play with it. If you got any bugle beads, Sheila, with you, then do try it and send me a picture, and I will pop it in the production and everybody can see it as well. Or even if you send it to me afterwards, we can show it off to everybody next time when we do the creation station. Right, so I just unraveled my thread a little bit as well. Oh, this is better. It's going to go through. Sometimes you just have to go down a needle size. There we go. And sometimes I've got a little cheat as well. So if your needle is getting stuck, I like to use my scissors. So I just hold the needle in between my scissors, right where the two end meets, and just give it a gentle little pull. Just like that. That needle is not very good. It's a little bit wobbly. But my other one, my pink one, is better. There we go. I'm picking up the next 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So how are we doing so far? What let me know in the comments. What have you been doing? And how's it working out? Just gonna go down on this. And then going through one set. I'm gonna have to straighten my needle a little bit there. So when I do straighten my needles sometimes, so just get a little bit of pair of pliers and just very gently just sort of pull it backwards so it's straight again. Patty and Money super cheeky ponies. Well, sometimes you have to be, don't you? I got a bit overexcited. I was like a child in a sweet shop. Like I want everything, everything done then. They said, like, I did ask them, they said, like, when they first opened, they were really busy, but now they a little bit more. Oh, yeah, Joe. I'm curious saying, I'm so glad you treated yourself to a mani-pedi. Salons are super safe. Yeah, they are like, what usually they have like, I don't know, 7 or 8 stations next to each other, but there is only half of them working now. And they got these big screens between, like, it was bizarre, like big screens between you and the person who's sitting next to you. And it was a little bit, when I got in there, I was like, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure about this, but it was fine. Like, and they cleaning everything so often that you know, they're cleaning their tools, they would be cleaning everything anyway, but I think now, so there's less of them. They usually like 8, 9, 10 of them working in there, and now there was only 5 of them working. But it was the first time I felt in the last 15 months like this is some time of normality. And I really would like to go out to a restaurant. So my birthday is coming up soon, and I'm hoping that everything will be still open and we can go out, because obviously we didn't really get to go out either, and I haven't been out eating since we had takeaway, but we haven't been out eating since February last year. So I'm really looking forward to that one as well, and I think that will be the next sort of getting back to normal thing, normal feeling. Oh, Asher's saying that's the way that we need to treat ourselves sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, like I said this before as well. I don't know if it was a Zoom class or in a live stream, but I said this before as well, that like last year, because we weren't able to do a lot of things, like I'm not saying we would go out all the time, but we would go out to dinner, like, or lunch, or would take the kids out like maybe once a month. And then it was like, oh, what should we do this weekend? Oh, well, we just go out, or we go here, or we go there, and or we go to so and so, and the kids want to go here, and you just went and you didn't really think about it. And now, like, every time when you would go out or you would do something, it will be like, it will have that magic what, I don't know, perhaps a long time ago we used to have. Or maybe I'm just being silly. Do let me know if I'm just talking a lot of rubbish here. Right, I'm keep picking up 9 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And adding my loops on all the way around. I think this is going to look beautiful, and I'm going to make into a long necklace because I love wearing long necklaces in the summer, especially if I have like a tank top or anything. I can't go strapless. I'm not very good with strapless tops, but If I got like a little tank top, I think it's gonna look really good. So how's everybody doing? Let me know in the comments that what you making along and how you doing. Do you are you doing the same pattern or are you doing your own? Elizabeth is saying, I got lost after the second row of crystal, just like Thursday. Oh, bless you. So once we added the second row of crystals in there, then we picked up 5 seed beads, a crystal, another 5 seed beads, went into the seed bead, crystal, seed bead, next stepped up with next crystal, seed bead, crystal, and then you just picked up 5 seed bead, a crystal, came down in the 5 seed bead which you had there already, and went along and did the looping all the way around, adding those in. Let me know if that if you need me to. I will probably catch up with this side very soon there anyway. Well, not that soon, but next 20 minutes I'll be there. Our standards are lighter. No, our standards are higher than ever. I work alone, but certainly feel I'm upped my standards. I think so as well. I think it's really made us appreciate, like, you know, there's like what happened last year, but it's made us appreciate everything a bit more. Like, it's like now popping to the supermarket, it doesn't feel like a chore anymore. That like, oh, I have to go to the supermarket and I have to get in the car and I have to drive to the supermarket. You like, ooh, we're going to the supermarket. Like, you know, it's almost like, ooh, what am I going to be wearing? Like when you used to go out, when I used to be like young and we used to go out and we would go out on Saturday night, and on the way home Saturday night, me and my best friend, we would talk about what we're gonna wear like next week when we're going out. And I think it's a little bit like that now, that you go out and you're like, oh, I'm going to the supermarket, what am I going to be wearing? It's a bit magical. I would love to like or fly when we will fly again. Like we take that for granted as well. We go here and there and everywhere, and need a bit more seed beads. I think when we get on a plane again, will be very special as well. Or do anything, it will be great. 1, 2, 3. Oh, just back from making milkshake from family. That sounds perfect. You know, my kids used to love homemade milkshake, and I used to make them all the time, and I used to even hide a carrot in there or a banana or a thing or two, and then they would be just chocolate milkshake and they would be none the wiser. But lately they kind of started to, or Joe sent a photo, I'm just gonna pop that up for you in a minute, kind of started to realize like what's happening. Maybe their taste is getting a bit more, don't know, but they're like, oh, you put pepper in here. Like when I make like a spaghetti sauce for them or something, I will hide a carrot or two in there or a pepper, and they were like, you put pepper in. They was like, no. I was like, no, but not me, not pepper. And they can taste it. They can definitely taste it. Bless them. We have to disguise everything, otherwise they wouldn't eat it. I think if the kids had their way, they would be growing up on pancakes and biscuits and don't know. Right, let me just grab Joe's picture so I can show it to you before I go any further. There we go. So Joe is doing the earth, and that looks really, really good. So now you just need to go in and pull the beads, the loops together. So you're going to go, you need to make sure you're coming out of the 6th seed bead, and then add a crystal and go through next 5th and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, is that 8? 8, yeah, 9 I need. I add spices for my son in chicken as he wants flavor, but not spicy. Yeah, my kids like everything plain as well. Like they want it plain, but when it's too plain, they complain it's plain. Oh, it's hard. They will learn, I think. They will try different things. When they get a bit older and perhaps their friends are eating it or trying it, they will be like, oh, give me a try. I'm almost all the way around, and once we get around, I'm gonna have to just pull that on. I'm gonna have to add the donut inside it and then zip it up with the crystals. So let me know how you're doing. Some of the seed beads, is this the seed beads? It's not the crystal, I think it's the seed bead. This one is a little bit, oh no, it will go through. I don't need to go through that seed bead as well. Yeah, sometimes I'm trying to save time to go through all of them, but then it just makes it harder, and then I really have to pull on it. And this one doesn't really want to have none of it. Just pull this back. Just gonna go through the seed bead, this one. Now, if it happens like this one is, I bent my needle, that might have been a little knot or something formed on the thread when we were in that seed bead before. I'm just going to change the needle because this one is all bent. We got no choice but to jump over the seed bead, and that's fine as well because you're not really going to see the thread path that much. So in that way, I'm just going to go straight into the crystal. I'm just grabbing another needle. Quickly thread it, make sure I'm threading the right end. So what's everybody else been up to today? Do let me know. Are we having a nice weekend so far? The weather really came through. This morning when I opened the curtains, it was like, ooh, that looks cold outside. But it certainly came through here. Just trim the end. And there we go. Oh, come on. See, the thread is going to show me up. It's like so hard, like when you're trying to thread something right on live and then the thread's going to show you up. Let's actually try this lighter color in there. Ooh, I like that lighter color better actually than the darker color, don't you think? Let me know. Do we like the lighter color or do we like the darker color inside? I kind of like the lighter one. We could use either or. Oh, come on, needle. Well, I think, because it's a smaller needle as well, sometimes it's harder to thread it. But I think we're good. There we go. Just pull it further down. And we are back in business. So because that seed bead is really, there might be a little knot or something inside it, I'm just going to skip over and going to straight go into the crystal itself. You're not really going to see the thread path, so it will be fine. I'm just gonna that particular one is gonna be a tiny bit wonky, but you're not gonna find it later on. Lighter color, Pamela is saying. Lighter color, Marissa is saying. Ruth is saying lighter color. Mina is saying wow. Lighter color, Marissa. Went to neighbor's 4-year-old birthday. He got a frozen princess. Oh, bless. Name, he loves her. Bless him. It was a train as well. Oh, bless. Pamela is saying lighter color as well. Oh, they're so cute when they're that old. They're so cute when they're 4-year-old. And then they grow into 14 years old. So I don't know if they could stay that small forever, you would like, I don't know. Now, like, because Lucy's obviously 14, like, you know, now I'm not cool enough now. I'm just like, when they are 4, like, you are their world, like, you know, they love you regardless of what. But when they're 14, they're like, want their friends more than they want you. Oh, which is normal, yeah. That's what they like. Well, I can't actually complain because she's quite good. But I know, like when I dropped her off at school before, and it was so funny because when she was in year 7, so obviously she moved up from year 6 and she moved up to the big school. And when she was in year 7, I used to be on the way in to work. I used to drive her to school, and she used to give me a kiss in the car. And as we were progressing in year 7, she started to like stop giving me a kiss goodbye in the car. So what I did, what any mother would do, I guess, I wound the window down and I said, "I love you, Lucy Robinson. Have a lovely day." So the next day, when I said goodbye to her, she leaned in for and given me the biggest kiss. And I said to her, like, what is this for? Like, you know, what's like yesterday you didn't want to give me a kiss and now you want to give me a kiss straight away. And he said, well, Mum, it's less embarrassing to give you a quiet kiss in the car than you winding the window down and telling everybody I'm your daughter and you love me. Right, so I'm just taking through the last section. So I'm going to borrow 1 from this loop, pick up 8, and then 1 from the other loop, and then we are in adding 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll be adding the donut in. So the lighter usage, I'm going to add the lighter one in there. Just going to go through that seed bead, crystal seed bead, and into the loop. So we want to come out 1, 2, 3. So this is where a couple of you were just not that long ago. So we want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want to come out the 6th bead. I'm going to add the donut in. Actually, let's add the donut in now. And then I'm going to pick up, I need some small crystals. I'm going to go up, pick up a crystal and just go to, oh, Joey's saying that's so cute. Evan won't kiss me in public. No, she wouldn't kiss me either. Like, she wouldn't hold my hand. She wouldn't, like, when we go out, she's very strategically puts herself probably about 1 meter away from me. See, I guess if one of her friends come past and like she can jump, I don't know. I'm just joking here. She wouldn't do that. So I picked up a crystal and I'm gonna count 4 again and go through 5 and 6. So there's 4 remaining on the other side as well. And just keep on adding these crystals, trapping the donut inside. Then it's saying, still mine seems need to 18 at the beginning, but now it's too big. It's one of those things like, how tight is your tension? I know my tension is really, really tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when I make something, I always like need to add an extra bead on there. But we'll see. Once I run around here, we will see how well is keeping. That's when all gonna come down to, when I run around here, how well it fit around it. So like we needed the drum rolls now as we're going around. Just imagine it. My son tells me wear hoodie tops when going out with him to shop. Need to be a trendy mom. Oh, bless, that's so sweet. That's so, so sweet. So now I got, and actually Lucy, what the all, it's like a short dress, I guess this is, but I'm wearing it with leggings, so I'm wearing it as a top. But Lucy chose this one for me. We went into New Look the other day, and when I went down to town to have my nails done, because like I booked my one in, but there was nobody else in there, and I said to the guy, like, have you got time to do? And Lucy had a little manicure as well, and there's only one other lady came in while we were in there. But we went to the New Look afterwards, and she chose this one for me. So I guess we are into that age now that our children needs to dress us, or like in our household. God knows what Christopher will choose for me. Something which either got Minecraft or Fortnite written on it, most probably. But then Lucy did try to, like, today we had to pop back to, need to take back a couple of stuff. So we popped into the shopping village here in Clacton, and she did try to make me to buy a tracksuit bottom, where I drew the line. Like I'm okay wearing leggings, but no, not tracksuit bottoms. But then that's what I guess her and Christopher lives in. I just think if I, but then like I did the same with the leggings all last year because they were so comfortable. I was wearing them constantly, and then as the Corona pounds piled on, the lockdown pounds, I needed them as well. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Mina's saying she agrees. Mine is very tight, which I added an extra, so back at the beginning. So do let us know, Mina, how many or start. Oh, that's Diane. So Diane, can you just confirm you started with 18 and it's too big? But I think you have to wait until you do this side as well, because it might tighten up. And there's a couple of tricks actually we can do to tighten them up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So always going through seed bead number 5 and 6, and I'm counting the one which is borrowed, which is in both loops. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I'll be amazed if I haven't made a mistake anywhere and gone through the wrong beads as I'm talking and counting at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I think that's looking, that actually looks nice without the inner row as well. So maybe I could leave it just without the inner row on one side. 4, 5 and 6 and add the inner, not add more than, if you don't add the inner row on this side, excuse me, then we won't be able to strengthen it in the middle, which if it's a little bit too big, then that's what you're going to have to strengthen it through the hole. But I think it's looking good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And pull this up. I'm adding in the last crystal. So when I'm doing this and adding crystals in, like I never pull my thread like in the direction away from the crystal. So like, for example, see here, I'm just gonna be coming out of that crystal. So because I'm working with crystal and thread, I always pull in the angle how the hole of the crystal is. But if I can help it, I'll go any further until I come out of the seed bead, and that's when I really pull my thread tight, because then I don't run the risk the crystal cutting the pearl, but not the pearl, the crystal cutting the thread because of the seed bead is more. That looks really nice. So what shall we do? Shall we add this middle bit? And I think I might have to take my thread back and make this a little bit more. I like how it twists on there. Or shall we leave it plain like that? Because it will hold it. It will hold up. It won't come out now. It will just hold it like a cabochon. What shall we do? How about adding a bead in the middle? What do we think about that idea? We could add a bead in the middle on one side with a couple of crystals. That would look cool as well. Or we could completely make it like enclose that hole. But I think adding a bead like plain, most saying. So shall we leave the back plain? That's fine. What shall we do with the middle? Shall we add a bead in the middle? Do we need a bead in the middle? Then it's saying it was 18 she started with, but pulled it a bit tighter. Oh, Catherine is saying, once we're able to eat in restaurant again, I will appreciate the servers so much. Cannot wait. Absolutely. Me too, Catherine. I cannot wait as well. I'm looking forward to so much. With a bead seems intriguing. Let me just cut this strand. And then what we have to do is, obviously we can only add it. Hold on, where's that free needle? I'm just going to put this bead on the needle and just rest it on the top of it. So we're going to have to add probably a seed bead or something in between, because it's not the right size, or maybe adding a 3mm hematite on either side. The other thing what we could have done is, instead of using the crystals, we could have used the hematite beads. So we could have used the hematite beads in the middle there. That would have been looked nice as well, but then it would have been all the same color. We could have used, instead of using those crystals, we could have used the size 8 seed beads as well if we wanted to. So you got loads of different options. So are we adding this bead with a bead? It seemed intriguing. Good evening, Kitty. And he's saying, and everyone, unfortunately, I have only just been able to join. So I'm going to have to watch what I have missed later. Oh, bless you. So once we finish, you can go back at the beginning and watch it. We just started like a netting really over our donut, because I didn't want to cover the donut up completely, because these hematite donuts are so beautiful. So we finished one side, we done the other side up until there, and then we're just talking about what shall we do. Shall we go and take it in like we're taking it on this side, or shall we leave it plain? But this makes me think that we could just left, if we didn't want it to, we didn't need it to add this inside, we could just had this going on the outside of it. And maybe, is it a bit slippy? No, I don't think it would have come off. I think it would have been fine. So bead or not to bead in the middle, that's the question. If you're adding a bead in the middle or not. I think it would look nicer if we added the bead in there. And that's the biggest bead in the pack, unless if you make our own bead up, like a beaded bead. But I think that would be nice in the middle. Maybe we could have had one larger bead. Let me see if I got anything larger. Would a 10 mil? I'm gonna grab a 10 mil bead and just try it in there, just so we know. Ruth is saying bead will be look lovely. Right, so let me just grab a 10 millimeter pearl, and then we see how 10 millimeter bead fits inside there. Right, this is 12. This is, no, that's 10. Have I got 12? I don't think I got 12s. I haven't got any 12 mils. The largest one I have here is 10 mil. Let's see if it's there in the other one. So 10 mil bead. A 10 mil bead would be a better fit. Let me just have a look if I got a 12 mil bead. Let me just cut this one and see how does this one look like. So we might need to find a bigger bead to go in the middle. Let me know. Do you think this looks better than the 8 mil to find one bigger bead? I'm gonna have a look if I can find a 12 mil bead, but I'll have a look. Let me just give you one sec. And where did I use the 12 mils last? That's the question. Sometimes you never know, they could be anywhere. Are they all 10s? Nope. I got what I know what I have in 12 mil. I got a miracle bead. So let's try that. I definitely got a 12 mil miracle bead. So that's 10. Well, don't say to me, I haven't got 12 mil. That's 14. That's 12. Yeah. I got 12 mil. I found the 12 mil miracle bead. That will be just good to try it for size. So that's a 10 mil pearl. And this is a 12 mil miracle bead. That doesn't fit in the hole. Like if I try one here, it fits there perfectly. And I think that looks quite nice. But it doesn't, it's not gonna go like a 12 mil. It will go through the hole, but the 10 mil will go through the hole, but the 12 mil won't. So the 12 mil just sit there. But I think that looks quite nice. Don't you think? So perhaps I either need to find, I don't know. It's an option anyway. I think the netting looks lovely going right to the middle, and the 12 meter would look great. I think it's with or without it. They would both look great. If you had the 12 mil, then we can add that in later as well. The miracle beads is white. It's just a white color. I think we do have 12 millimeter pearls as well, and we do have a light blue color in miracle. for us everything. Or I got a dark blue. When you are trying to find the right color, not going to happen. So yeah, I'm not gonna add that miracle bead in, because if I added a miracle bead in, I would probably want to add either this color, which has got like a hint of blue in there, or the dark blue. But I think the hint of blue would look better, but I haven't got that one in the right size. If you find any family with a bead what you like, you can perhaps leave it or give it, add it in there, or in this case I'm gonna leave it out. I'm not gonna add it in. Smaller is better, looks more lacy with nothing. What color is the miracle bead? Yeah, that was a white one. So I'm gonna leave it out. So what do we think? What do we need to, what we're gonna try next? And I do like the idea of having an asymmetric necklace with the beads at the bottom. So perhaps we could, I definitely will want to do this as a long lariat necklace. And I might even put a little bit of a fringe at the bottom, but I just have to see how, if I can go through the crystals again, or how I'm going to add it onto it. But to do an asymmetric necklace, how are we going to secure this onto this? I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to show you what I mean. There's a zoom out there, and actually get these crystals out of the way. Because what I think would be nice to do, like a little, because we got the other color seed beads as well, which I definitely want to use because I love that tanzanite color. Just move these right out. So if you wanted to do something asymmetric on the necklace, zoom out a little bit more, there we go, then we would need, if we said we want the clasp on one side, we would need heavier beads at the bottom. Oh, we could do, I tell you what we could do like a multi-strand one, slightly, would space out the beads with the seed beads, because you got all these different size seed beads. So I would use the size 8 with the 8mm. Then I would do another strand on top of it, a 4mm one, and I could space that out with the size 11 seed beads. They both look exactly the same. Now we will connect this to the donut on one side, so you got plenty of, this is not going to be that long, so this is just going to be like a front piece, I guess. So maybe you want this, I'll get my ruler out in a minute. Maybe you want this about 8 inches, 8 or max 10 inches, so like 20-25 centimeters, and this one's gonna be less. And then we will add the clasp on this side, which is gonna be your smaller, like it's still round, but it's gonna be on this side. And then here we're gonna go all the way around. We either use the leftovers from these two beads, or just with a smaller one. Like, let me just pull this down a little bit more, just with a smaller one, all the way around to the other side of the clasp. How about that? But the other thing, what we could do, we could either do just as a stringing the beads on, or do we want to add like a little stitch in between? Do let me know, what would you like to do? Do we want to add a little stitch in between, or the beads, especially these larger ones? Or do we just want to add one seed beads and do it as a straightforward stringing? And once I get here, I would probably just I know what we do. We'll do a band around there, like a herringbone stitch band, just with 2 beads. And that's where we're going to join and start these beads out of. How about that? So we'll have this one on one side, so we'll be asymmetric. We're going to have a couple of strands coming to the bottom, we're going to have like a larger bead and a smaller one. We're going to add the, where's my clasp gone? I think I dropped the clasp. I'm just going to put this here for reference. The clasp on the other side. And then actually this one is cut already. So let me take these beads off so you can see it better. So the size we need is probably about this size. Then let's cut this one as well and take those beads off so you can really visualize it. Joe's saying, I think simple stringing. Can connect donut with 3mm beads. I think I would like to do like a little, just take those off. So we'd have that much beads on, not a few more less. So this would be the longest one, the 8mm. Then this would be shorter. This will be shorter, just like that. Then we're gonna add the donut on this side. We're gonna add the clasp on the other side. I need to go and grab another one because I did drop the silver one. So just imagine that's that rhodium color clasp. And then we're gonna add a single line, like a thinner line on the top. How does that look? Can connect with donut with 3mm beads, thing. So you could add like the beads coming in and out just like that. That would look good as well. But I think I kind of like to mix two different things. So I want to add a little bit of an element to it, a little bit of a stitchy element to it. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'll show you what we're gonna do. It's gonna be, gonna do like a little herringbone stitch on it. Let me just grab a clasp because I dropped this one. Let me have a look. Where is it gone? You wanna find anything in this room sometimes. Where's it gone? No, it might have rolled under the table. Never mind. I just grab another one out of my little box. Actually, let's grab two. There we go. So let's do a little herringbone little sleeve where we're going to connect these beads up, and we're going to do that with seed beads. Shall we do it with size 11 or size 8? Do let me know. Size 8. Maybe let's do size 8 for the bottom, and then we see how does it look like, and we might do size 11 to the top just because we got the seed beads already. So I'm going to zoom back in. I'm going to use this really, oh no, wrong way, this way I want to come, this really lovely tanzanite beads. Let's get these out of the way. We need the donut, and we don't need these beads just yet. So threading the needle again. Just get that out of the way. Where, there is it. Where did I leave my thread? This is lovely, Kitty. Shirley is saying, Lucy, how you put ideas together? Lucy's saying, they just like, I think one thing leads to another, and you just play. And I often do this. See, before even I started, or before even I know what I was doing, I would put my beads down on my mat and I would just play with it. I would like play with the strands, like pull them, push them one way or another, always just sort of playing with them. Right, so I want to do I'm gonna do a herringbone stitch, but we're gonna, instead of going through just 2 seed beads and picking up, we're gonna go down 3 deep. So it's gonna make sense just in a second, but it's gonna be just, we're gonna go through 1 extra bead each time. Oh, hi, Kelly. Kelly's here. So we already made this. We covered it with seed beads. And Kelly is, she's from South Africa, and she's got a channel, a YouTube channel as well. Let me just pop her up. Her name is called Let's Get Clacking, and does all sorts of different crafty stuff. So we already covered this donut with beads, and we're just going to do something different for this other donut. And yeah, we're going to connect it up with beads, and it's going to be straight stringing. So you want to start with 6 seed beads. I'm gonna take all the way down, and then what we're gonna do, we're gonna come back through, but only the first 3, just like that. And when I pull this up, it just sort of goes in like an oval, but we're gonna stitch those bottom ones together just in a sec. Now I'm gonna pick up 2 seed beads, and when we do normal herringbone, we would just go down 1 bead, across, and come up one bead. But in this instance, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go down 2 beads and then come up. Let me just pull this side. Come up 3 beads on this side. So once we've done a little bit, we will see how's it going to look. And then I would go again, pick up another 2 beads. Again, I'm going to come down in 2 beads and go back up. Let's just pull this one tight and go back up 3 beads. So just be going through each bead twice, not just once. And then I'm gonna keep going until I have like a little strip, so I can put it through my donut and join the end and the beginning together. And again, coming down 2 and going up 3. So I'm jumping from one side to the other with every single stitch. Oh, Kelly saying, I can't believe you remember that. Yeah, Kelly, I don't remember names at all. But then the reason why I remember your channel name, because when Nick was looking at your channel, he thought all the way through it wasn't Let's Get Clacking. He thought it was Let's Get Cracking, your channel name. I just found it that really funny. So that's why it really stayed in my mind. It's funny sometimes how I remember things. Most of the time I don't remember anything, but sometimes if there is something funny about it, then you do remember, don't you? I think I have stitched through the thread. Did I? No, I didn't, just twisted. So I'm gonna keep on going. You're gonna need probably about 1 inch or so, or no, maybe over like 1.5 inches. So about 4 centimeters, and then this will go through. Let's just try it. How's it gonna look? Before we go any further, I just stitch through the donut. This will go right in the middle, and it's gonna loop around just like that. And then this is where the 2 strands are gonna come out from when we join them up into the necklace. I think that's gonna look really good. But let me just pull that through and leave that there. But I'm gonna need a little bit more length. So picking up through, coming down 2 beads, pulling this at the top, and then going up through 3. And again, picking up 2, coming down 2. I just twisted it, so it's easier when I'm going up through the 3 on this side. Just forming a little strip. And coming down at 2 and going up at 3. So how are we doing? Let me know if you made something different, or if you're following, what stage are you at? And if you don't know, and this is the first time you are joining us, I have this all the time. We like do creation station. I just grab something from the cupboard, and this time we done a little bundle, and that's what we're working off from. So everybody who already purchased the bundle, they have it at home, and then we can make together. So we're gonna do this session, and then hopefully in a couple of weeks we can do another one, and then we just carry on and just do more designs or come up with something else. We will see. There's so many nice beads just to play with. So I have got about 4 centimeter now. I'm gonna go and try, because I don't want to make this loop too big so it will sag down, but I don't want to make it too tight either. So again, it's gonna have to be the Goldilocks size, that just right. So there we go. I'm still need maybe, you see, about 4 rows, and that's what you're gonna see from the front when that's how they're gonna sit. Maybe with size 11 it will look nicer, but never mind. We use size 8 at the bottom, and then the top row we'll use size 11. And going to the end. This stitch, I think Sarah, I used it for the top of the Cassandra pendant, but like we added the loops first and then you were just stitching backwards and forwards just to make the connection in between each bead. But I think Sarah might have, correct me if I can't remember because it's done hundreds of tutorials, but I think Sarah might have done a beaded ring where the bottom of the ring was very similar to this one, or did she do like just a normal herringbone, or did she do the extra bead herringbone what I'm doing here? Do let me know if any of you have seen that or watched that. That was sometime last summer. She was using like the crystal hexagons, I think, or the ovals, one of the other ones. Just going to the top, I think one more bead, and then we try again, because I think this is my 4th one or 5th one I'm adding on. But I love Creation Station. I love this sort of freestyling into the beads, and we never know what we end up. So there we go. I'm just gonna hold, then let's just put that needle down. Gonna hold the end together, and I think that's about the right size, because if I'd done anything bigger than that it would sag down too much. So I'm gonna go along and I'm gonna hold the 2 ends kind of together between my index finger and thumb over the donut, and as I'm coming out of this bead, instead of like I would have gone and picked up another bead, this time I'm just gonna go through the first bead, and then I'm gonna straight turn and go back down in that bead, pull this up nice and tight, and let's just move this like sort of in the middle a bit so you can see it. So I joined those two. I'm gonna pull this tight. I'm gonna go back down on this side 2 seed beads, just like that, and I'm gonna come up this side, and I'm gonna actually go up 4 seed beads this time, not just 3. And again, I'm gonna go back down. So I'm gonna go back down 3. I really want to make that connection between the end and the beginning of my weave nice and strong. And from here, I would just switch backwards and forwards a few more times and do a 1 thread knot between 2 beads. So I'm just gonna go between the 2 beads. I'm not gonna go through any of the beads. I'm just catching that thread path. I'll just get these beads out of the way so the camera will focus better. I'm just catching that thread path. Come on, camera. Shall we move it up? Oh yes, that's better. Catching that thread path. I'm gonna pull this through. You can see this loop appears, and before this loop disappears, I'm gonna go through that loop, and that will form a nice little neat knot, and then just take it through the next few beads. Now I'm gonna do this again, just further up, because I really want this ring to be nice and secure. Mina is saying crystal rings. I think it was peyote with coin beads. Was it? No, I did peyote a couple of times. So we had the slanted peyote rings, which actually just in that tray what I got out. Where did I see them? So this was the slanted peyote rings I did. with the 3mm hematite beads and size 11, size 8 and size 6 seed beads. I did this one February time, maybe January, February time. And then we've done another ring with square stitch, and now I'm ready to cut this off. A different one with square stitch. I'm going to cut the tail off as well. But with the tail, I'm going to do the same treatment to it. So I'm going to add a needle to it, take it through a few beads, knot it off, and then take it through a few more beads as well. The one with that, we did that last month, I think. The one with the little 2mm crystal gemstones, like the faceted gemstones, with the really, really sparkly ones. This is saying there have been so many tutorials I can't remember. Yeah, neither can I. It's like now, because we've been doing it for over a year. Like there's over 300 tutorials there, and I kind of sometimes can't remember if I've done something or I just wanted to do it. Right, I'm just going to go up through those beads and a few more. And then I'm going to do one thread knot just here. So I'm going to catch that lovely, just turn it around, lovely thread path. And before that disappears, I'm going to add a little knot into this. So the thread I had, it would not been long enough to do the necklace with. So I'd rather knot this thread off, and then we're going to start a new one. Just go through the next few beads. And then we are ready to cut this one off as well. There we go. So I think that looks rather nice. What do we think? Just a little loop. So we're gonna have, so shall we add, are we gonna add a seed bead in between this? Are we gonna add a seed bead in between, or are we going to, let me just see if I can just pop here. So are we going to add a seed bead in between? Or actually we could add a crystal in between as well if we wanted to, because we still got the crystals here. But I really want to continue the color into the in between the hematite beads as well. So I think I'm going to do the seed beads. I'm going to do size 8 in between these, and then see how much we need. I think about that much. And then we're going to get to the clasp, go around the clasp and come back on ourselves. So we need a fairly long thread. Because it's hematite and a little bit heavier, I probably will double loop and go back to them again and come back on the smaller beads. I'm going to pop this to the side. Let's just get these and use these up first, what I've taken off the strand. Just organize some seed beads here as well. Then I'm going to get my needle and add a longer thread to it. Adding toho will give a longer length, absolutely. You can do more with it then. So I only added one clasp into the kit because I'm not sure like what clasp you really prefer and you know you want to use, but I wanted to add one in there so at least like you can make a necklace. And then if you go extra clasp, obviously there is so much materials there that you could do more with it. I'm just going to thread this needle very quickly. So I'm just going to use a couple of arm spans. Right, we're going to go in and we're going to do the same thing. So I'm just going to go up a few beads. And let me just turn this. Up maybe 4 or 5 beads. Then I'm going to do a one. Now, actually, let's turn around first. So I'm going to just turn around and come back through a couple of beads. I'm going to add a one thread knot right here to secure the thread to the loop. Just like that. Then I'm going to take it through the next couple of beads. So I'm right in the same place where my tail is. So when I come back, I can then knot my strand to the tail. I'm just going to put this to the side. My crystals are escaping on the side of the table. Come back, crystals. You're not allowed to go away. And let's secure them on the top there. So I'm going to start the pattern. I'm going to start a seed bead, a hematite bead, a seed bead, another hematite bead, a seed bead, another hematite bead, all the way along. And just by adding that one seed bead, can you see that I'll zoom in? And no, I was digital zooming. It wasn't. You can see that adds that little bit of a color, really makes the hematite beads pop. There we go. I'm just going to add a few and take them all the way down. So we want to have about 8 to 10 inches of this, about 20 to 25 centimeters to the bottom. And adding more. It's quite quick, like, and I love doing this when like the necklace is mainly strung, and that really speeds up the process as well. But you're going to add one little detail in there to which is like stitched, and my face is in front of it right now, but they're just going to make it look like really nice. Let's put this on this side so you can see. I'm just going to carry on. I don't know how many beads we're going to need, but we're going to see. There we go, and take it all the way down. I think I want to add a little bit more, maybe another 8 or 10, 8 mils. By adding just a little bit of like seed beading in there, like just a little bit of stitching, it just really makes it interesting. Like that's your unique part of your strong necklace, because from here on, although we have to do another one on the other side, we will be stringing the necklace on. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this longer as well, so I can wear it with a nice sort of tank top. I think, let me just zoom out again so you can see. I think that's looking, just move some of the beads and everything out of the way. I think that looking quite nice. I'm going to add a little bit more length, maybe. Sometimes when I go along and I do strong necklace and I'm saying, well, I need X size, and I just add one more bead for luck. I don't really know where is this one more bead for luck came from, but I do it so many times. I just like, yeah, like that, yeah, that's about the right length. Yeah, that looks, that I'm eyeballing it, and that looks about the right length. That's gonna look great. Let's just add one more bead for luck, and I always do that. Right, so I think this will be the right length, and I'm not gonna add another one for luck because I just did it. So on this side, we would have the clasp. So I'm gonna, as I'm coming out of that size 8 seed bead, I'm gonna have to, we're gonna have to add a couple of beads so we can go around and come back out. So I'm gonna pick up another size 8, then I'm gonna change to size 11s, and I'm gonna pick up, we're gonna need more anyway. Let's put a few out there. I'm gonna pick up, let's say, 2 size 11s. I'm going to go through the loop on the clasp. I'm going to pick up another 2 size 11s, and I'm going to come back through this second size 8 I added just here. And I'm trapping that just there. And from here, we're going to change from 8mm down to 4mm beads. And instead of using the size 8 seed beads in between, we're going to use the size 11, so they scaled down as well with the hematite, just because we can, because we got size 11 in our pack. So I'm going to start with the size 11, then 4 mil, size 11, 4 mil, all the way back to the other side. I think this is going to look great. And actually I have got a blue dress, which this is going to go perfect with it. It's one of those blues which has got like a slight hint of purple in it. Well, how are we doing? Let me know in the comments how you're doing. If you're making along what you're making, send me a picture if you can, and then I can bring it in and show it to everybody. Like, just send it through Messenger. There we go. I'm just adding, you could make up any pattern you want here. Now you could do, you know, I could have done like 8, 4, 3, 4, 8, any sort of pattern, but I just like, sometimes I kind of like it to keep it simple. And we keep on going. You're going to need a shorter length here than your bottom length, because you want them to, if you make them the same length, they're just going to sit together. You want this one a tiny bit shorter, so it will just sit nicely on the top there. So how are we doing? Is anybody doing this version, or are you still doing the donut with the netting around it? Marissa's saying it's lovely like that. I love it too. And like, this is another classic example that, like, you, if you wanted to, you didn't even have to add a clasp on this, because if you're going to make it long enough, it will fit like right over my head. But this is a lovely example of, like, if you got something like this, in this case, we got a little bit more decorative clasp. We don't need to hide the clasp. We can have the clasp at the front of the necklace. And it's so much easier to try to, like, with magnetic ones, it's pretty easy to do it and undo it at the back as well. But if you are got a lobster clasp or a toggle clasp or anything like that, it's so much easier to try to undo and do it at the front rather than doing it at the back. So I'm just going to keep on going. I need to add a little bit more. Because we are using smaller beads here, it's going to take a little bit longer to pick them all up. But we are almost there now. Just going to add a couple more for luck. One more for luck. And then we see how long it is. There we go. So that's too short at the moment. So I do want to add a few more. I want it to just maybe like a ½ an inch above it. If you wanted to, you could do it like that. I kind of like the look when it's just like ½ an inch above it. So I need a few more beads there. And I love, like, you could do this look with tiger tail as well. Doing it with tiger tail is going to be a little bit more solid, like more, what's the word I'm looking for, like stiffer. Doing it with thread, it's going to be really nice and fluid. And when you go around, this is really going to be nice and fluid on yours. So they're perfect for longer necklaces. There we go. I think I still need about 2 or 3 more. Actually, so don't with nothing. I just had a jam and cream and donut. Oh, Asha, no! I'm on a diet. You can't, you can't tease me with donuts. I'm actually in, like, I kinda. Was it about when I was a little bit poorly before I had my jab, actually that week, I was like, yeah, I really need to do something about this now, because I've been you know, last year just had a lot of weight to pile on, and I really need to do something about it. So I said, I'm going to do something about it. But I guess I kind of need more like a lifestyle change rather than just a diet. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. And we cut out all sugars and loads of. So I'll go to the other end, and I'm just gonna go up where my tail is. I just go to 2 or 3 beads. I'm going to come back down on the other side. I do that, and I'm going to notch the tail and this end together, but I do that so I can pull it up nice and sort of tighter. And now I'm going to go ahead and knot, because they're side by side, my tail end and my thread together. Actually, let's cut that tail end because we don't need that much thread there. And I got plenty of thread left. So I'm going to run down and back up. I just like to do that so I have a nice like double security, I guess. Right, so I just knotted that together. All I'm going to do with this one is going to run all the way down, around the clasp, and all the way back up, and then we're going to work the end off, and then we are ready to do the top end. So I gonna do because we can use the 4 mils or the 3 mils at the top, because we got plenty of 4 mils left. We got well over half a string here, but I think I'm gonna do the same as this, but in the size 11 seed bead, so we can really see what another band would look like, and do a large loop to the back, so then it will sit. I want it to sit. Hold on, let me just move the cameras. So I want this to sit like right here, really, like make it a little bit longer, and I think that will be really nice. A toggle clasp would look nice on the other side of the donut, would mirror the hole. Yeah, absolutely. I added this one in the kit. Maybe if I do another kit again, if you want me to, I am quite happy to do another kit. Let's just not zoom in that much. I'm quite happy to do another kit for another month. Then we could have toggle clasp next month or something different the month after that. But you need to tell me as well that what materials perhaps you would like in the bundles, what would you like to work with. So I'll make sure to incorporate that into next month's bundle. Wink wink if you do one. I don't know. I think Simon was like, I was really happy because like Simon said to me, well, you're lucky if you're going to sell 5. And then so many of you lovelies like bought it blindly, because first you didn't even know what was in a mystery bundle. And I was really, really happy. So I think we will be allowed to do one next month. But we just have to work out what beads we want to use. There we go, just going through these. I'm going to take a sip of my Coke. And then go all the way down, go around the clasp and come back up to really make this strong. You can even run up and down a couple of times more if you wanted to. The more you go over, the stronger it's going to be. The other thing what you could do, and we could have done, is to use your thread doubled over. So that could have been a option as well. So right at the start, instead of just using a single thread, we could have used a double thread. Oh, Lucy's saying I love a mystery bundle. Yeah, but I'm going to have to make it up well in advance, and I won't be allowed to change it. I think I will be locked away, even for me. I won't be able to come in like, I'm going to take the gold crystal out and add a different one in. And then I've taken the gold out and another one is like, actually, I'm going to change all 3 of them. I think it's like a little bit because I'm working from home so much like these days, and I'm all in the warehouse like once a week. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult because when I'm in that day, I have to get everything done, like all the colors chosen for projects, like working with everybody, doing with everything. It's always a really, really a mad day at the warehouse. Right, I'm going back up, just reinforcing my row. And then I'm gonna get a new thread out, and we are going to make another little band. I reckon we will finish this tonight. 100%. It's 26 past 9. We will finish this. We have to finish something. Otherwise Simon's gonna say, like, you sat there for 3 hours playing with your beads and you haven't finished anything. So I need to have something to show, I guess. He doesn't understand. Man doesn't understand, like, why do we love so much just playing with the beads? Like, we don't even have to make anything. We just want to play with them. And there we go. And got to the other side. Now I'm going to go up again. And because we already knotted the beginning and the end together, I don't need to knot it again. I'm just going to go into my band. Just to go up, doesn't really matter, X amount of beads. And I'm going to come down on the other side, just a few beads as well. I just like to do a loop. Just came down 4. Then I'm going to turn around and go back up again. And now I'm going to do a 1 thread knot and just trim my tail. So always just like have that little bit of security, the turning the row around. Like, where is my needle? There we go. Just give you that little bit of security. So the thread, even if it's pulled back, it's not pulling on the knot. Right, I'm gonna go between these 2 beads here. There we go. I'm going to pull these through, and I'm going to through just the loop, just like that, and I'm going to pull this up nice and tight and just take it through the next few beads and trim the end. And we're going to do the same with the tail as well, and I'm going to do it right now because I like to work clean. So when I work with when I do any jewelry, like some people we like sort of just make, and then at the end you would still have to spend another 10-15 minutes just tying the loose ends off. I like to tie them off as I go along because then I know, well, in a way I guess it's a good practice to do it, because then you know you are done and then they're nice and secure. But if you have to or decide to add anything else to your necklace, then, so there's good points and bad points to it, I guess, good sides and bad sides, then you have to weave a new thread in. If you leave the tail on until you are actually ready to like finish the necklace, then you always got a little bit of threads hanging out here or there. Right, there we go. And I'm just going to pull this up. And then this one is ready to cut off as well. So towards the top, we're just going to add a single line. Let me just zoom out a little bit so you can see it. There we go. I think that's looking quite nice. And I'm going to pop my size 8s away because we're going to do a size 11 band at the top there. Or shall I do size 11 or shall I do size 8? Let me know. What do you think would look better on the other side, size 11 or size 8? I think perhaps 11 because we're going to be having smaller beads coming out at the top. But now looking at it, I might not even use the 3 mils. I think I might go back with the 4 mils. What do we think? But number one, are we using 11s or 8s here to make another band? This could be actually, here we added 2 strands to it. So this one is a double band. Up here, maybe we could just do a single seed beads band to go up into the single string. Maybe that would look nice as well. I think if I'm just going to add a single one, I'm going to add size 8 to mirror it. If I was going to do a double one, I would do a size 11. What do we think? Shall we go size 8 or size 11? Oh, Brenda's just sent me a picture. Ooh. She said she didn't have a donut, but used an oval instead. Just need to make a necklace to go through the bell. I'm just going to pop this in here. That looks really lovely. Very, very lovely. So because she used an oval one, we do, like, she needed to loop it from front to back. So definitely it's not going to go off it. But I think that looks really pretty, Brenda. And I love the colors you used as well, because those bronze crystals are really matching the veins in that turquoise. It's beautiful. Sheila is saying size 8. So we're going to use a single size 8 line there. Single will be better, Mina is saying. So let's do that. Now, second question. Are we using the 3 mil at the back, or are we going to use the 4 mil at the back? All these choices we got, eh? This is the beauty of a bundle, that you can really just sit down and play. I don't know. If I put the 4 mil there, I like that one better. But if I put the 3 mil there, I like that one better as well. So do let me know which one do you prefer, and then we will use that one. And while you are letting me know what you prefer, I'm going to go ahead and thread my needle up. Sheila is saying 4 millimeter. So let me just put it this way. So this side is 3 mil and this side is 4 mil. So which one looks better, 3 mil or 4 mil? Just bring this up a little bit as well so you can see it. Joy's saying 3 mil with seed beads. Pamela is saying 4 mil. Caroline saying 4 mil. Mina is saying 4 mil. I think we will have just about enough 4 mils to do it. But what I'm going to do, because I am not 100% sure that how much 4 mil we have, we might have to add some more seed beads or something in between, or maybe a couple of 8s. What I'm going to do, I'm going to string before connecting it with the loop, I'm going to string these on first. And then I'm going to make the seed bead loop at the end, then come back to myself and then add it to the clasp. So we kind of have, in that way, we will have the option, if we have to lengthen it, we will be lengthening on both sides with the same kind of seed bead. So I'm just going to run along, and I'm going to alternate it with size 11 seed beads. And I'm most probably going to use most of these 4 mil beads up. Don't forget, we still got plenty of crystals left in the pack, so we could have used crystals as well. But if you wanted to use crystals, we would have needed to add a few in the bottom here and there, just to sort of it twinkles through the whole of the necklace. So I'm going to start with a seed bead, hematite, seed bead, hematite, all the way along. I'm very quickly going to pick up all of these beads. I'm going to try to do it as quick as I can. You have to keep an eye out of me, because I might pick up 2 seed beads next to each other or miss one. So if I miss one, you have to tell me straight away, so I don't have to go back too long. You know me and chatting. Julie's saying 4 mil as well. So we're going to keep on with the 4 mil. There we go. Just picking them all up. I mean, when you do like something like this, like we only done a little bit of a stitched part to it, but the stringing part of it will be quite quick. we go. All the way down. Thank you very much for the pictures, Brenda, Joe, and Mina. If anybody else wants to send a picture in, just please do. Just send it through Messenger and then I can bring it in and show it to everybody. Just whatever you've been working, whatever you've been doing, just snap a picture with your phone and you can send it through Messenger. Just make sure like you got plenty of light on your, I say I'm gonna pick up 2 and I did it just there. Oh, no. Just very quickly take these back. Right, just double checking. That pattern is all right. I'll pick them all up. It's gone really quiet in the house. I'm sure they haven't gone to bed. I don't know what what the boys doing. Usually you can hear them laughing in the lounge, watching a movie, but I don't think they're there. I don't know what they're doing. I know Lucy's in her bedroom because I can like kind of hear her above me. Her bedroom is right above my office. Then when she walks around. I don't know what's everybody else doing. Well, actually, might actually be just enough, this 4 mil. By adding the seed beads in between. Just gonna pick them all up. Has everybody got any plans for tomorrow? Let me know what you are up to. I was supposed to go and see Sarah tomorrow and another friend, but unfortunately we have to move it to next week. So now, if the weather is nice, we're gonna go and spend a day at the beach. Hopefully. Well, not all day, because I would be a red as a lobster by the end of the day, but certainly go down for 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon. I think low tide is about 3 p.m. Brenda, do you follow the tide times? Do you know the tide times? Oh, Carolyn's saying I'm working tomorrow. Well, tomorrow is the first day in a very, very long time. I don't have to do a live on Sunday. Like, I don't know, very long time. Since March last year, I think. Right, okay, so I'm all the way to the other end. I think this one, let me just try try around my neck. It comes to there. No, it's going to be too short. I need it longer because otherwise it would be up here. And I want it a little bit longer. So I am going to go and add, I think I'm going to add some 8 mils onto it, maybe. And then we can add the same ones to the other side and see. Let's have a look. How's it going to look? Just because I want to make it extra long, otherwise it would fit. But I just don't like tight necklaces. So, shall I still with a size 11? I'm going to stay with a size 11 here. So I'm just going to pick up a size. I could have added 2 size 11s in between every one of those hematites. That would have worked. Will the size 11 run into the hole on the hematite? No, it won't. So that will be great. So I'm going to add maybe about 7 of these on one side. And I'm just going to have a quick peek to see how is it going to look like. There we go. Oh, Lindsay's saying she's driving back from Hertfordshire from Newport. I think that's going to look all right, actually. Having those larger beads at the bottom. So we got 6. Let's add 1 more. and then see what is it going to look like. I need a few more seed beads as well. So again, just sort of double measuring it. No, I want a few more. I want to add a few more to it. I'm going to add that 7. So I'm going to put 7 onto this side because I know I need to add that one to that side. And I'm going to go ahead and divide the rest of the beads between the two sides. There we go. And then I can add another 5 more to this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to do the same thing here, what we did underneath it with regards to the clasp. So I'm going to pick up 4 seed beads. I'm going to go through the, actually a little bit smaller, so that 4 will be enough. So I'm going to go through a loop on the clasp. And then I'm going to pick up another 2 seed beads. And I'm going to miss the first 2 on the other side of the loop and go through this one. And pull this up nice and tight. And I'm going to run back. I got plenty of thread here. I'm going to run back to the other side. Just going through all of the beads, keeping a nice and tight attention because you don't want any gaps. Just pulling it up as I go. When you're going back to the beads, it's so much quicker because you I just stick my needle into the first bead and trying to hold these as straight as possible. And then your needle will just run down through the beads. This is very advantageous to have a longer needle because you can push it through more beads like that. So very quickly, just running to quite a few of those beads. I mean, I think I have to hoover upstairs of my house and do ironing. Oh, bless. Hoovering and ironing will bite me now. Housework can bite. I seen a really funny post on Facebook the other day, and it was about this lady was saying that she doesn't care. She's ready to give up her hobby. She did it all through last year, and she's ready to give up her hobby, and she's gonna give away all her stuff she used to do her hobby, and she doesn't even want any money for it, so it's free to go and get it. It was worded much better how I can relate to you. And then basically it said, so it's free to and ready to collect my dustpan and brush, my iron, and she listed all her cleaning equipment. I loved it. It was so good. Right, I'm gonna go all the way through these beads. And we're going to connect this with we're going to pick up those extra 8 mils and connect it to the donut. Oh, Ruth saying she sewed that as well. Joe saying I have 9 miracle bead anklets and 6 resin earrings to make for customers. Then I hopefully have some playtime before cooking roast and ironing school uniform. Yeah, I know. I need to make some samples for next week as well. I was going to do it in a car if we went up to see Sarah because she's about 2.5 hours away from me. So I always take like a bead tray with me, and Simon would drive and I would just bead on the passenger seat or the back or wherever I'm sitting. But that's not, obviously we're not going. So I can sit on the veranda, or if you're going to go down to the beach, I often do that. I just take it down and take my chair down, and I'm not going in the water anyway. I wouldn't even dream to go into the water. It's just too cold for me. But the kids will be going in and out, so I just sit there on the stand and just enjoy a drink. and do my beadwork. Or read a book or anything, like when we go down to the beach. Right, I'm all the way to the other side. Just gonna go through this last few beads. Right, and I'm gonna start picking up those 8 mils. So we need to pick all of these because that's the same amount what we have on the other side. Go to, we're almost there. If I put my blue dress on tomorrow, I can wear this necklace with it, can't I now? So I have to check my diary, but I will see if I can do another creation station in a couple of weeks, and then perhaps we could do the earth kit then. So if you haven't ordered your kit, do check out, the link is in the description as well, and you can get it in. And in a couple of weeks, then it will be 2 or 3 weeks. I'll do an extra one anyway. I usually do, don't I? But I'm not sure what Saturday I can do. I definitely can't do next Saturday. I might be able to do the Saturday after, so I will let you know, and then we could do more of the earth kit. Right, that is brilliant. That's the right size for me. I can see it already. So I'm all the way down on this side. I'm going to use size 8 here for a single row. So I'm going to pick up, I'm not sure how many we're going to need, probably about 22, let's say, as a guess, 24 maybe. So I'm going to pick up 24 and we will see. And that's 20, 22. And I'm going to come down through the donut. And pull this up. I think, yeah, that's about the right amount. Now I'm going to go back through the last size 8. Not the size 11, but the size 8 first. I'm going to pull this up nice and tight, and I think, look, that's just the right amount. I'm going to make sure I'm going to pull this nice and tight, and I'm going to start my way all the way up and meet my tail. Like ideally, if we added the right amount of seed beads first, and we didn't have to add this little extension on either side, then my tail would be right down here, and I will be knotting it together right now. But it's not a problem. We will run up to the top where the tail is, and then we can knot it together. And we will hide the knot in the hematite beads, no problem. So I'm just pulling it nice and tight as I'm going up. Due to saying my kit should arrive this week. There we go. I'm going to go up, and I'm just going to go to this size, this 8mm. And my tail and my working for this right next to each other. So I'm going to go ahead and knot it together. And if you're watching from somewhere else around the world, we do ship internationally as well. And these days, like, I don't know, many years ago, international shipping used to be so expensive. But these days, like, I think it's not that bad because I get stuff in from American all over. So I knotted it together. Was it 2 knots or 3 knots I did? I'll do an extra one. I usually like to do 3 knots when it's a single strand. So it was like 3 half a knots. And then I'm going to take it back down towards my donut on one side. Now, if you had a lot of thread, you could run all the way down, back around again, just to reinforce it, how we reinforce the bottom part. I'm going to go and see how much thread I got. Actually, I've got the bobbin on there, so I could take more and reinforce that part. So let's do that. I'm going to go down with this. And get into my circle of size 8 beads. And then I'm going to grab more, thread for my bobbin and travel the opposite direction to reinforce that thread as well. So I'm just gonna take this down and leave it in the circle there. I'm gonna leave this needle on because once I run up and down, I'm probably gonna come down here and knot it together again. So I got a really nice and strong excuse me, connection there. Just got a couple of arm span. We need to be careful with shipping since Brexit, you mean, Joe? Brevity? Do clarify that. Oh, bless you, thank you. Kelly's still there. So what Kelly, let us know, what have you been working on? I don't even know what's the terminology. She cuts out vinyl and all sort of stuff with the machine and applies it to. She was making a beautiful plate the other day. What are you working on? Let us know. See, I need the layers back on now because obviously it's the summer. The heating doesn't come on anymore. So I said it this morning when I looked at it was really like rainy. It was overcast, and I thought, what shall I put on? I can't put a summer dress on, and I put layers on. And as I was going through the day, one by one, I lost the layers. But maybe I need to put one back on. I have been doing budget planning this evening. So much fun. I'm not good at that. I'm not good at budget planning because I just want to do it all. I want it all, and I leave all that to Simon. I just tell Simon, my partner, that my husband, that oh, I would like to do this and would like to do that, and he goes and works out the price, and he said, no, you can't do that, and then you can't do this, or you can't do, we've been talking about it. That would like to go into the loft to get some more storage. I don't want to, I got so much card stuff, painting stuff, loads of craft stuff really, and I don't want to get rid of it because in the end of the day I will go back and I will do it when I have more time in my life, which will be when I retire. But I've been warned that when I retire I'm going to have even less time, I guess. But I want to, our loft is, we got quite a big loft, but I just want to kind of deck it out, and so we will be able to store a few bits there. But in 5 years time, if I have time, I will get it out, or if the children will be bigger and they want to do some, then they can get it out and do bits or pieces with it. So we are in sort of kind of finding out, and Simon is budgeting and planning, so we will see soon. Joy saying yes, just simple, stretchy. Oh, Joy saying we need to be careful with shipping since Brexit. We had big shipping fees. Yes, sometimes it gets, and sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes you don't sometimes they charge you import duty, sometimes they don't. To be honest, I really don't understand how the whole thing works, but I don't know. I think it's for companies, they need time to adjust, and even though we've been out for the last 6 months. Oh, Kelly's saying I'm itching to buy a new house. My dog is petrified of coming up the stairs. It breaks my heart, so I'm trying so hard to stick to my budget. Oh, bless you. That's so cute. We only got a cat. We got one guinea pig, so the cat comes up here. She prefers Victoria, so she would go into Victoria's bedroom and just hang out with Victoria all day. But then if Victoria goes to uni, then she will come and want to hang out with me if nobody's else at home. Just make simple stretches with 8mm elastic and 4mm beads. Oh yeah, I think you must be. Oh, Dan is saying we'll need reinforcing. Yes, we will see. We'll see what's happening. with the loft. Well, amount of cross stuff I have is it's not just reinforced, and we need a new roof. Just joking. I haven't got. Well, I have and have, and I haven't got that much. Right, I'm just going through these. Well, I'm on the way back now. We're almost done. I'm on the way back, and then we notch the beginning and end together. Work our little tails off, and we'll be fine. Oh, Kelly's saying she's got 2 cats as well. Yeah, I am thinking to getting another cat, but I don't know. Not until the autumn anyway, and then we will see. So at the moment, our Sydney, bless her, she's 14 years old. And she had a little problem with her eyes not that long ago. But it's all kind of sorted now. But I think she can't see that well anymore. She's our old girl. She's really lovely. She's just like a black and white cat. There's nothing really. She's not like a breed or anything. But she used to catch the biggest pigeons, the biggest anything, and bring it into the house. Offer it up. Karen is saying your 10 o'clock deadline is approaching. We're almost done. Let's see. We got 4 minutes. If we definitely, I'm gonna bead as quick as I can for this last 4 minutes. I have to draw the deadline at 10 o'clock because you know me, I would actually sit here until midnight or 1 a.m. and I would just bead and bead. But we had this, like one of, I think it was on a Sunday night chat, and that's actually coming tomorrow. We end up talking about all sorts of different things. And I promised everybody that I wouldn't bead past 10 p.m. And I have been sticking to it. I think I only broke it maybe once. Twice, but not like, you know, I've been sticking to it. So I kind of start to tidy up at 9:30, and at 10 a.m. like or before 10, not a.m. p.m. I walk out of the room, and that's it. I'm done for the day, because but then I go up, and then I start reading, and I start like go on my phone and check this out and check that, and I'm still not going to sleep until like 1 a.m. It's a bit better what it was, but it's still, I think I'm still extra late still. But 10 p.m. is I draw the line with beading now. Time has gone really quick. Yes, yeah, it has. When you're having fun, of course. It just flies past, isn't it? Kelly's saying all cats are the best. Absolutely. She's a part of the family, and she's like we got her when Lucy was small, and then Christopher was small, and she was so good with Lucy and Christopher when they were babies. Like I was always afraid that like the cat would, because you heard these horror stories that the cat would go and sit with them, and she did used to, like when Lucy was little, like she would go and like not that little, maybe like she was like a year and a half. She went through a period when she would like sleep by her feet in the cot and like sneak in there, and you're trying to get her out in the middle of the night, and really funny. But she's been so good with been so good with both of them, like never ever scratched or never ever like, she's just been really great. She's been a really great cat. And touch wood, I don't know what wood I'm touching. She never really destroyed any furniture, or she never really been naughty. She did start, we had upstairs in the hallway, we had a couple of corners, and she did start at the wallpaper on the corner, but then I went out and I just bought like a wooden, it was like a 90-degree, but I just bought in B&Q in one of the DIY stores, like a 90-degree strip, and I added that to the corner of the wall. Like sometimes you see those in hotels, and just painted it over. And since we added that one over, she never went on anything or never did anything. So she has been a brilliant cat. Right, I'm gonna this way. This thread is going that way, so I'm gonna run around the other way so they meet in that bead. We need 2 more minutes. Come on clock, hold it back. And up to that where the other thread is. There we go. And now I'm going to knot them both together. Take one to one direction and the other one to other direction. I'm not too bothered to do one thread knots now because this is knotted and this is the second line around, not the first one. So it will be definitely fine. Right, let's take this up. And then the needle is still attached to the other one and I can take that down. So I'm just going to pull that through, cut this end, get this needle and then go down through just a few beads because I don't want to cut it off right next to my thread. And that's it. So we did this today and I'm just going to cut to the other camera. I'm going to put this necklace on so you can see it. It needs a little bit of tightening up. I'm not sure if I'm going to go back and do the same pattern on this side, but I'll see what I'll do with it. But let me put this other necklace on. I really do love it. Who was the person, sorry, who has suggested to do an asymmetric one? I think it looks lovely. And it is the right length for me. I love it. We could have had like another donut on this side and have the clasp on the back. But the clasp, we didn't really needed the clasp because we could have just, let me zoom out a little bit so you can see it better. We could have just had like it go all the way around because it's long enough to fit over my neck. But the clasp is at the front so we can undo it. And then we can do it back up. I think that looks really nice. I'm going to wear it with my blue dress tomorrow. If the weather is good enough, I'm going to put my blue dress on and wear it with it. I think that's really nice. Pamela is saying, thanks, Kitty. That was an enjoyable couple of hours of beading. But actually it was 3, Pamela. We started at 7, lovely. The necklace is lovely, Judy is saying. Too precious. I think that was about the cat and what Kelly was saying. I've been nice, relaxing evening. I have enjoyed this. Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. Usually like the boys watch some movies like the Planet of the Apes. They've been going through all of the different ones and even didn't really fancy watching that a couple of weeks ago. So it was really nice just to sit here and bead. But I wouldn't wear these big earrings with it. So if I wear something like a necklace like that, I would just wear either very small earrings or no earrings at all because I already got something. But it looks good. But we could have added the other donut here. We could have added the other donut in there, but the whole idea was to do asymmetric. Another thing we could have tried, and I'll do it 2 or 3 weeks. I'll let you know when I can do it. We do it with the earth. We will do another asymmetric one, but instead of we do like a stringing / a little bit of stitching. So we do a couple of rows backward, and I will show you what I mean. It will look really nice. So we do a different one with the earth, and I will have a bit of play with this if I get time. And then we do another one with the earth and perhaps pick up the seed beads in a different way. But in the meantime, if you are having a go and if you are playing with it, then please send me a picture so I can put you on the side and then I can bring it in and I can show it to everybody as well to what we've been up to and what we've been doing. I do really love it. I love both of it. I love the necklace and I love the pendant as well, what we made. I don't know if I end up adding this into a long necklace, so the pendant would be like a little bit further here down. Let me just sort of stand up a little bit. So I would want the pendant here, and maybe do a little bit of fringes to the bottom. I will have a little think about this one, and then just do a long necklace. I wouldn't need a clasp on it because it would be going over my head, but I will see. I'll have a little think about this one. So everybody, have a lovely evening, and I'll see you tomorrow night on back on. But it will be on Facebook on here as well for my Sunday night chat. And otherwise, Monday we'll be back on Totally Beads doing all sorts of things next week. And don't forget, we got the open day coming up next week as well at Totally Beads. So if you live close to us, do plan that in your diary. Because we haven't had an open day for like 15 months. Like I'm looking so much forward to it, like a little kid in a sweet shop. I just want to go and talk to people, like see real people. It will be so good. Right. Judy saying, I'm going to be watching this again to finish the donut. Yes, so once we finish, you can go back to the beginning and have a look at the donut. Let me know if you did any tweaking, send me pictures, and then we will put it together for next time again, and then I can show and bring in and show everybody what we have been doing. Oh, Ashley's saying she almost finished the donut. We should send the picture tomorrow. Brilliant. Right, thank you everybody. I'm gonna go to bed. I think I'm gonna get ready to bed. Have a lovely evening, and I will see you tomorrow, or I'll see you next week on Total the Beads. Bye everybody. Bye. Good night.